Hey guys, and welcome back. This video we're gonna talk how to relax and how to de-stress. For as much as I talk about self-care, the importance of self-care, the importance of making time for yourself, the importance of taking care of yourself, the importance of sleeping early, of eating healthily, of doing all the good things that you know will be good for you, I haven't been doing any of that at all. A few days ago, I woke up with a huge kink in lower neck, upper back, right here. My range of motion was like this. When I went to sleep or when I got up after laying down, I'd either get stuck like a roly-poly or I'd have to use my hand slowly, gently lay myself down or like come up. And it's just, yeah, it's interesting how we will prolong or we will not do something that we know we should do for a long time until something bad happens, like, you know, physical pain. And so this video, 6 very practical self-care tips on how to go from where I was a few days ago to, you know, today. I feel like aside from the stress pimple, I think I'm doing pretty okay. So let's get started. So the first thing that I do is make time for myself so that I'll be able to have time to think and to be alone in my thoughts and to have some sort of an outlet to get my thoughts out, even if it's just writing it down, even if it's just talking to myself or talking to myself in my head or actually physically talking to a person. I know that's kind of counterintuitive because you want to make time for yourself, but when you're talking to a friend about these things, like it also kind of works. When I'm really stressed, I tend to turn into the biggest hermit and I just shut off the world. I shut off people. I like disconnect myself with people and I'm just so stressed by myself and I'm stressed that I'm stressing and I'm stressed that I'm by myself stressing, and then it's just like this really bad cycle of like it's not fun. So make time for yourself, and that could be in the form of writing, meditating, journaling, going for a walk, cooking for yourself, so many things, taking a bath. Something that really helps me is actually cleaning. I talk about this a lot, or taking a shower. Just mindless tasks like washing dishes or vacuuming the floor or sweeping the floor, going on autopilot. Your brain can wander and think of, okay, so why, Rowena, are you so stressed? What is it really that you've been going through? How do you feel? Are you really okay? And the most important thing with making time for yourself is we innately already all know what we can do to make ourselves feel better. But there's like a huge difference between knowing and actually doing something. I know meditating will make me feel better. I know how to meditate. I know how to journal. I know how to write down my thoughts. I know how to be alone by myself. But if I don't actually do it, then none of it matters. Same thing with how poorly I've been eating. It doesn't matter if my pantry is stocked with a bunch of superfoods and a bunch of dietary supplements and a bunch of vitamins. If I don't actually take it, it's not actually gonna help me. Again, the first thing is to make time for yourself and know that you need to actually do the things instead of just thinking about it. Growing up in society, growing up in this world today where we all have to be performing all the time, on all the time, operating at full capacity all the time, whenever we feel like we're less than that, whenever we feel that we're not good enough, and whenever we compare ourselves to other people and we look at other people's lives and see how productive they are and how well they're doing, we tend to be even harder on ourselves. So I've been reading the new book by Gary Vaynerchuk, and there's a sentence in there that really stuck out to me. He mentioned the law of thermodynamics and how whatever energy you put into something will manifest itself in equal amounts when it comes out. So if you're stressed about being stressed, then you're just gonna keep being stressed. If you think you're not good enough, if you think you're not capable enough, then that's gonna be the result of what you do and how you feel and how you treat yourself. It's okay if you're stressed. It's okay that you feel not great all the time, because we're human and because it happens. So accept the fact that you're stressed and that's okay, or accept the fact that you're not feeling the best and that's totally fine. There's a couple ways to categorize these types of stressors and why you're stressing. I think the most straightforward one is internal or external. It could be both. So internal is expectations for yourself, voices in your head telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not whatever enough, being a perfectionist, wanting things to be done a certain way, just anything internal, like voices in your head. And there's external. So external could be your relationship with people, anyone, family, friends, conflicts, or it can even be something like environmental factors, a little maybe out of your control, commuting, it could be crowding, it could be pollution, anything. All of these are causes of stress. Some of them are a lot more apparent, like the voices in your head telling yourself you're not good enough, but a lot of these things are things that like daily hassle, we don't really think of it because we're just doing. Or maybe even the voices in your head, maybe it's been just there for so long that you just kind of accept it as who you are and accept it as reality and accept it as truth, when it shouldn't be, because we should love ourselves and silence those voices in our head because they're not nice. So why have I been stressed? Why have I been stressed? Life changes in any form, whether it's like positive, negative, or just even neutral. It's a life change, and it's a situation that makes you have to cope, makes you have to deal with, makes you have to adjust. So like any change will cause some sort of stress. And this is a good place to say that stress in moderate amounts is good. We need it to survive. Ever since, you know, our ancestors, when they're hunting and gathering, like you need stress, but too much stress is not a good thing. So there's two ways people tend to manage stress. The first we're going to talk about is defensive coping, and defensive coping is exactly as it sounds. It's very reactive. You usually distract yourself and you usually divert the attention of the stress to be like, I'm stressed, but I'm gonna drink. I'm stressed, but I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna avoid it. I'm gonna go party or watch Korean dramas, because that's what I've been doing. And usually defensive coping comes at a cost, because instead of dealing and managing, you're just pushing it aside to deal with at a later time, and it usually compounds and grows into this giant mountain of stress that one day it'll crush you and you'll be like, oh, why am I so stressed? And it's like, duh, because you're putting it out. Aggression, regression, avoidance of problems, which is like withdrawing yourself from social situations, any situation. Self-deception, which can be rationalizing why it's okay that you're feeling this way, or just complete denial of the fact that like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine, like I'm fine. And then there's active coping, rational evaluation of our capacities to manage stressors as best we can and planning efficient ways to cushion its impact. And let's just move on to the fifth point, because we will talk about ways of active coping. We kind of talked about this in the first section, where there's a huge difference between knowing and actually doing. So this is the doing. The active coping, the being proactive, the playing offense versus playing defense, the doing the things that we know will make us feel better and will make us more chill and not as stressed. I categorize my stressors into 5 categories. I'll like identify what it is and then what I'm going to do to help myself do better. First thing is relationship with my work and time on the computer. I spend way too much time hunched over, like a little hunchback. Yeah, that's not okay, because that's really bad for my posture. That's very bad for my neck. That's very bad for just like my overall well-being and like my eyeballs. What I do is I keep a water on my desk and I keep drinking it, keep refilling it, so that once it's done, I need to refill it and stand up, and then I need to go to the restroom and I need to stand up, or I'll go outside for a walk, look at greenery. My mom actually put me on a very strict schedule. Every 1 hour I need to go outside for at least 10 minutes to look at the sky, to look at the flowers, to look at the plants, to look at green things. So if you can't go outside, just get up and stretch, or even just to breathe. I mean, we're breathing on a day-to-day basis, but there's a difference between shallow breaths and deep breaths. Next thing is my body. My body has been very tense. Being hunched over on a computer, like overextending my neck, and just that's not cool. I'll link down below a video my cousin sent me a while ago. For every hour you work, you stand against a wall and then you do some arm raises to kind of straighten out your back, realign your spine. Also, what really helps that I've been completely neglecting is Qigong. What Qigong does is it helps regulates the Qi in your body, or like the energy in your body. And if you're like, oh, what is that? Basically, to me, it's like there's also a lot of stretching, and it helps calm you down and it helps ground you. And I'll also link down below the exercises that I do, and if you're interested in learning from someone in person, I'll also link down local contacts where you can find people to learn this from. Next is sleeping. I've been sleeping at very irregular hours. I've been traveling back and forth between New York and LA a lot. When I'm back in New York, it's like, it's 6 a.m. It's okay. It's 3 a.m. in LA. It's not that late. and I'm up like watching Korean dramas, and I'm very ashamed of myself because that actually happened a few weeks ago. That just goes to show how much I wanted to escape and how stressed I was and how defensive coping I was. Yeah, glad I'm not there anymore. Been doing a lot better. There's this video on how to wake up early that I made that I obviously need to watch more myself. Another thing is nutrition. I think of all the things, all of these are all very, very important, especially what you consume and what you eat. Of course, drinking more water, more vegetables, more greenery, more fruits, more natural foods will help. All of this, it's like, okay, make more time to cook, to actually cook. Put more effort into what I eat and be more mindful of what I'm eating, and also putting superfoods slash vitamins where I can see them so they're easily accessible and I'll actually remember to take them. And the last thing is I get in my own head too much when I'm stressed. I won't go out for weeks at a time. I won't talk to many people. I already don't talk to many people on a day-to-day basis. Talking out with friends, actually this whole thing started turning around when I met up with Patrick. I was able to talk it out with him. He asked me questions, he listened, and with that, he helped me realize why I was stressed, why I've been so stressed. And for that, I'm very grateful, and I just wonder why I didn't do that sooner. When you're grateful, you can't feel anything else than gratitude. And I can confidently say that for the past 3 weeks, I did not feel grateful at all. I mean, there's spurts, right? But for the most part, because I was more overwhelmed with this not the most positive feeling of being stressed, I couldn't be grateful that, wow, it's so amazing that I am alive and that I can do something like this and that I can share my experience and my story with you guys as I'm learning so that we can all learn together. It's so silly that we kind of do that to ourselves. So it's like turning I can't to I can, turning the voices in your head where you're like, oh my God, why are you doing this again? Why did you do this? I knew why, Rowena, like you're so turn that into like a, hey, you know, like you made a mistake, it's okay. Or like, hey, like you're not feeling the best, it's okay. Like take a break, take a rest, sit down, postpone the posting date for a video. Like the world's not gonna end if you don't do this thing. Taking yourself out of the equation, I guess, or just being more mindful, grateful, intentional, compassionate. I think at the end of the day, that's what will really help move this world forward and help make this world a much better place if we can all cultivate our hearts and ourselves to try to do the best we can where we are. Remember that whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're stressed about, it's okay to feel the way you feel. It's okay to be the way you are. It's okay to be who you are and to feel what you feel. And remember, you're not alone. I'm not alone. We're all not alone. We have each other. We all go through the same things. Maybe some people are better at hiding it than other people. Maybe some people learn how to manage it better. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We all go through these things and it's totally fine. And lastly, thank you so much to Kara for sponsoring this video. As with everything we talked about, they believe that everyone has their own individual journey, that they have their own individual path to personal health, and their mission is to help you find yours through vitamins. This is so cute. There's your name on there, Haro, and then vitamins. Oh, and there's also one of them that's for stress. It's called the chill pill, ashwagandha. This one helps relieve occasional stress. So what is Care Of? Care Of delivers daily vitamins and supplement packs customized to your personal needs. Take a 5-minute quiz answering basic questions about your lifestyle, habits, and health goals. This is pretty much a free consultation with the nutritionist who recommends the best supplements for you, and it's a great way to learn about yourself. If this is something you think you need in your life, or if this is something that you want to try, go to takecareof.com and then check out using the code ROWENATIME and you'll get 25% off your first purchase. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like this message at the end. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, what you think, how you stress, why you stress, if this video was helpful, if it made you less stress. And see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. What was that? I don't know. Finger hearts. Bye!